These are my sponsors, Muay Nation and Onyx MMA in Singapore. And this was my fight against Loma, Lookboonmee, who also goes by Ganda Pormongpet. This is down in Hua Hin at the Hua Hin Boxing Stadium. And I've fought down there a number of times. And this promoter kind of wasn't talking to me for a while, and then he finally sent me a message and was like, "Can you fight on this day?" And told me that I'd be fighting Ganda, which I knew to be an alias of Loma, so I kind of double-checked with him, is that who it is? And I was pretty excited to be able to go down and fight her again. She is, in my eyes, the best 48 and under fighter in the world. She just won gold, I think, at 46 kilos at the IFMAs, and then the day before this she won gold in the Thai Games. She's an incredibly crafty, smart, high ring IQ fighter. That's the promoter there in the yellow, holding the ropes for me. And that is Loma. Her name means dolphin. I prefer to call her Loma, but I don't know whether Ganda is her actual name or not. But I fight the Pormongpet girls a lot. They have 3 fighters near my weight that I've been fighting. So I see their trainer quite often. But I don't get the opportunity to fight her very often. She's a little bit hard to book. So this just kind of came out of nowhere, and it's one of those things that you jump at because it's such a good opportunity. And before the fight, there was a girl from America. Her name is Lael, and she's been training and fighting down in Hua Hin for a little bit, so I got to actually watch one of my previous opponents fight while standing next to her while these Thai guys were trying to book a fight with her and one of their fighters. So prior to this fight, I was acting as interpreter trying to get another fight for Lael, but she was leaving pretty shortly after that, so I don't know whether that happened or not, but that's the kind of thing when you just go down to a stadium and the kind of experiences you can have waiting for a fight. I didn't get to see Loma's Muay, so I'm watching it now. It's similar to the girls at Pormongpet, but not quite the same. She's from Buriram, which is up in Isan, but the Pormongpet gym is down in Bangkok, so I don't know whether she spends much time training there, or whether she goes home and goes to Bangkok or anything like that. It's not terribly atypical of fighters to have a main gym and then a gym back in their hometown. But I think when she fights out of Buriram, she's training with her dad, who I met. He was very proud of her. That guy talking to her is the Pormongpet guy who I see quite often right now because I'm fighting those fighters a lot. Those are all the gamblers behind me on that side, sitting on the ring. So I had these 2 guys that the promoter provided for me in my corner. I'd never met them before, and they had no idea who I was, but going down without a corner and having someone corner for you is kind of an interesting experience. You just meet people and kind of try to give them an idea of how you're going to fight, to give them an idea of how to corner for you and see how it goes. But you don't have to rely so much on the advice people are telling you, or what kind of care is being taken. Alright, so this is starting round 1, and the last time that I fought Loma was probably 8 months ago or something, and I'd had a little bit of success punching her, but she's incredibly tricky in the clinch, so I know that my clinch has gotten better, and I knew what I wanted to do when I clinched with her to try to kind of, test what I'd been working on, but it's hard to know how to fight Loma because she's so tricky and good at what she does. She's a master at keeping the fight exactly where she wants it to be. She has really good balance. And you can see there, she's not clinching really, but she's neutralizing the clinch incredibly fast. So she's kind of a backwards fighter. Like, she doesn't attack a great deal, but she counters a lot. And I don't know, maybe she fights me a little bit differently. Like, when I watch her fights against other people, you can tell it's Loma, but it's definitely not the way she fights me. She's just incredibly comfortable and smart. I have no idea how many fights she has, but I'm guessing it's well over 100. Here I'm forgetting to bounce in the clinch, and she's trying to neutralize me. I tried to jerk her a little bit there. That's a good start. She's so cocky and comfortable. All of those tiny movements. There, bouncing early, that's good. It worked a little bit against her, but I don't know, it didn't feel like it was working the way that I wanted it to, so I just committed to it. Keep bouncing and see what I can get with it. I hit her with some good punches in this fight, but she's really good at appearing as though I didn't hit her, which is a big deal. If you can perform, she shakes your back like that. She just crawls around you when she neutralizes, and I have this habit of turning, which totally helps her out. So here, I'm turned again, and she just kind of wiggles behind me a little bit. Totally looks like she took my back, or did take my back. Coming back to the corner a little bit deflated. It's not good. Alright, so these are my two cornermen. I'd never met them before, but apparently they're trainers or helpers down at, this is a stadium at night when they have fights, but then it's a gym during the day. I'm a little bit mesmerized by watching what she's doing, so I'm sorry I'm not commenting on it at the moment. I was trying to close the distance, and looking at it now, I'm not staying on the porch the way that I had a problem with, I think, the last time I fought her, which is staying at her striking range. The first time I fought her, she just threw me on the ground what felt like 1,000,000 times, and when I watched it was actually like 4 times. But she makes you not really want a knee in the clinch because she can turn so easily. So I think that I'm doing much better in this fight, but I keep putting my left foot between her legs, and then I'm not gripping properly in the clinch. So these are things that I need to master before facing her again. But my distance is good. Like, I'm staying in much better than I was in previous fights. God, she's good at neutralizing that. I'm trying to go over it. So the way she fights is one of these fighters that ultimately throughout the entire fight, it's not a lot of points scored. It's a few points scored and then protected, and she's getting good kind of, oh, there we go. There we go. That was a good turn. So here I'm trying to come in with some punches, not really following it with kicks or knees, which I think is needed. I'm trying to turn to one side. Should probably be going left. I'm kind of going right a lot. Trying to bounce over that. I changed position though. And down. So here I'm just trying to close in with hands a lot. I think that because I was making some contact, I maybe overcommitted to that. I should maybe be kicking her legs the way that she hops around like that. Again, sideways, it's like just putting myself in this position, like, yes, please make me look like an idiot every time I grab you. That was a good knee. Here, I'm just turning all the way over with my shoulder so I can't grip her properly. And then my head goes forward because I'm turned so far sideways. So going into round 3. Now these are the important scoring rounds. So even though I got tripped in that second round just now, it's not that big a deal. But here I'm making the same mistakes, so it's pretty much possible to have the same outcome. She shows a lot of vitality. That was a good kick. Here, she's turned a little bit, but she's got a good lock on me, so she can do that. I put my feet too close together when I'm not paying attention and clinch. So here, my feet are at a good distance, but I'm putting my left foot between her legs, which does nothing good for me at all. I think I'd actually known that prior to this fight and worked on it a little bit, but it's really hard to change habits when you're working on so many other things and focused on other things in a fight. That's why they say train the way you want to fight, is because it becomes mindless. There's a little bit of attempt of a knee up high. So she's got this like total come get me attitude, and then when you fail to get her, you just don't look good. And they're turned completely, and she uses that turned side to come all the way around. So it's like exposing this shortcut for her to take your back, basically. Oh, I'm trying though. I'm chasing after her. Tried to do an elbow there. Got a nice knee in. They're turning like crazy. She's so good at that. You just get up and go again. You can't be too deflated about being put down, especially against Loma. It's just going to happen. She's got a good block there, but she doesn't leave it very hard, so you can kind of go around it, but it definitely gives you another obstacle to go over before you can actually score any points. There, I'm on the porch a little bit. She's kind of faking me out. Like, she's on the ropes, but she's, like, keeping me at a distance. That's old school. Back when I first was fighting in Thailand, girls were doing that to me all the time. And then she keeps neutralizing, and the ref just breaks it, and I'm not looking dominant or scoring, both of which are incredibly important. They're trying. Knees towards the head, but I don't think I actually got her. That's not really a point for me, that fall, but I felt good about it. Took her with me a little bit.
Very good.
So round 4, I think these rounds were a little bit long at times. That one felt a little bit long. I don't mind. I think that's cool. 2 minutes is very fast. Here, trying to close that distance a little bit better. They told me to stop locking her because I just keep getting turned sideways and neutralized, my back taken or thrown. Like, nothing good comes from me locking her. But I kind of, I don't know, was just single-minded and wanted to get in there and grab her. If I had just taken a step back and punched instead, like punched and then grabbed, or when I got kind of neutralized, pushed off, I think that would have been much better. So it's a keynote for the next time I get to fight her. Here, keeping my leg outside, that's good. She's still crafty and my feet were too close together. She has good arm control there. And I'm not locking my hands. See how she rips around? She's got me sideways, putting my ass back. Oh, that elbow didn't work. So this is how I've seen her fight other people. This backwards, and then right kick. She basically only right kicks. She hasn't really thrown a lot in this fight, I guess because of the way I fight, and so she's forced to fight me, but that's what she's trying to do now. It's a good teep and back off. See there, if I just stay at punching range a little bit and don't grab right away, that's doing alright. That's good. I mean, punches don't score high, but it's an alternative. It's doing a little something before grabbing in and getting neutralized. And it leaves open doors to kick and knee as well. It's like a spacer, I guess. There she goes, doing a right kick. Turn. My feet are too close together. Got a couple of knees. And she looks like she's just playing with me. That body punch was good. Yeah, the ref is in the way a little bit. I'm sure these positions are pretty similar to what we've been looking at before, though. I think I'm turning a little bit less in the clinch the way I was before, but my feet are a little bit close together, and I'm not kneeing. I don't know if that's because I'm afraid she's going to turn me or because I'm waiting for too perfect of a position. Oh, those kicks are all scoring. I don't think I noticed them in the fight because they're not very hard, but they definitely score. Trying to chase, trying to chase. If you chase, you gotta catch, and that doesn't necessarily mean grab, but you gotta score. Here she just turns me into the rope like, yeah, I'll go that way. It's not helping. She's just so good. She's so frustrating. I don't think that I felt as frustrated in this fight as I have in our previous fights, maybe because I knew what to expect from her, but she's so good. And here she just has to defend this entire round, and I just have to pretty much submit by staying away from her, which I'm not going to do, or go after her and look a little bit like an ass, but, you know, make those decisions, commit to them. There, see, I'm striking at a good distance now. If I had done this earlier in the fight, it would have been a different fight. But I waited all the way to the 5th round. She's just sitting there with her leg on my ass. The ref is like, this is over. He's just watching her dance away. There was nothing I could do short of knocking her out. I don't think even putting her down. She totally took my back right there. She knows. Yeah, so you can see the gamblers aren't fully paying attention anymore because this fight is pretty much already taken care of.
So good.
She's like, are you going to make me keep doing this? Yes, yes I am. Trying to punch. I'm getting around a little bit better. I think that if this round were an earlier round, it would have been a different fight, but this being the 5th round really doesn't look good for me to be chasing and unable to get her. Yeah, so they cut this round a little bit short, which is not totally uncommon in Thailand. If someone is so far ahead, they'll, you know, speed up the music and shorten it out a little bit. But you can see I'm in a good mood there. I just fought the best in the world. There's no shame in losing to her. I'm totally going to smash her later, but it's going to take a little while for me to get to that point, I think. It was a really good experience, so even though the guy who invited me down to fight her was not like, there's Lael. I think she elbowed me and I was looking in the mirror to see if it was a lump. Even though the promoter was like, Sylvie, no good. I felt like it was good. I felt like I fought her better than I have in the past. And I think it's going to take, you know, 5 or 6 fights with her in order to really, you know, have a chance to win against her. And so this was 3. So, you know, I'm working my way, saying thank you to him. I'm working my way towards being able to beat her. And I think it's a process, and so I'm committed to that process, and I embrace that process, and I don't feel bad about losing this fight. It was a good fight. I want to fight her again.